Now, the model that I want to see happen with alcohol is not where we open a few stations and let the oil companies sell it. What I think we need to do is a model that's something like what Diane knows about or what I know about, which is community-supported agriculture. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's a movement where consumers contract directly with the farmer to produce food for them every week. And the people get a box of produce every week as a subscription. We need community-supported energy where urban consumers or suburban consumers like us, if we're not producing our own alcohol, contract with these farm co-ops, buy the alcohol directly without any intermediates and sell it to each other on a nonprofit basis. There's a lot of precedent for this, this nonprofit co-ops. But what it takes is the kind of organization we need to do in this country to take power back into our communities away from the people who currently have it. And what's good about it is there's no reason why we can't do it technologically. There's 3 billion gallons of alcohol being produced right now in the United States, mostly by farm cooperatives. Do you know where it goes? It goes into the gasoline as an additive. But those farmers are nervous as hell because they're selling to the enemy, and it's their only customer. I've talked with farmer groups at these various conferences, and they said, if a consumer co-op wanted to buy the alcohol from us, we would love it. Anything to diversify our market so we're not just selling to the oil companies who might cut our throat any time.
So the fuel that you envision being at the pump somewhere in this area would be bought by these farmers in the Midwest. It wouldn't be...
Well, until we produce it here. I mean, there's a lot of plants that are getting ready to go into production in California. Or
if it happened next week or next month,
that's where it comes from.
That's where it comes from.
But once you've got distribution happening, local production can start happening, and there's a market for them to sell the alcohol to. It's the same with the, and use all the other products, the carbon dioxide for food production, the animal feed byproducts to sell to Strauss for milk. In other words, we integrate into the community. Now, there's been studies done back in the 80s, which are still valid today, that if for every 5 billion gallons of alcohol we produce, we would create 1 million jobs, 940,000 jobs. So only producing 15 billion gallons, which is 1/10 of the gasoline we now produce, would recover all the jobs that Bush has destroyed since he took office. And these are permanent jobs because energy never goes away, the need for it. So we're talking about changing like a real fundamental nature of our economy where there's, not only people taking power, spending the money in their communities, because, if Michael's running a co-op and he takes money in, into the nonprofit and that gets spent on services within the community, that's very different than giving your money to Chevron, who then ships your money out of town to a transnational bank account somewhere. That's constantly draining, the local economy where, respending the money within the community gets respent up to 12 times, creating a lot of local wealth. So there's a lot of reasons why we need to retake our energy, control. But, who of us wants to be responsible for what the oil companies are going to do next to our planet? And so that's, if there's any real reason to do it, that's